Every 2nd April is designated World Autism Day by the United Nations. The World Health Organization says 1 in 100 children comes under the autism spectrum. Although statistics on the prevalence of this neurological disorder is sketchy in Nigeria, there are 135 million established cases across the world. In this story, Just Nigeria's Mercy Frank highlights the story of some persons living with autism and what needs to be done to support them.
A silent struggle faced by thousands of families.
I don't know what I did to them. I don't know what I did to the staff. What they did to me, it had to be completely wicked.
Autism spectrum disorder, a condition often misunderstood and overlooked. Tonye Falowi Ekezi, a TV producer and filmmaker, is one of roughly 600,000 families in Nigeria battling daily to provide care to their special needs children. Tonye's daughter, Simone, lives with Down syndrome and has traits of autism.
She had no sense of safety. We would be walking on the road and she would dart into the middle of the road. And it scared me a lot. Then I noticed simultaneously she was starting to do things like put her hands on her ears, cover her eyes, not make eye contact with new people.
It's all right. It took quite an effort to have a conversation with Simone, a gifted painter whose paintings are on exhibition in Lagos, Nigeria.
Hi, Mama. My name is Simone. I'm 8 years old.
For Rafat Salami, a journalist, there is never a day off caring for her son, Ahmed, who turns 20 in a few months.
Sometimes it's difficult to even give him a bath. Sometimes feeding is a problem. Sometimes you don't even know what the problem is. And he cries for 2-3 days. He won't sleep. If he doesn't sleep, you can't sleep.
Ahmed Salami was diagnosed with autism, cerebral palsy, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. He dreams of becoming a martial artist. Ahmed is also a vlogger, always willing to tell his story.
We're not animals, for God's sake. Like, why? I mean, that is so disrespectful.
The United States of America's Center for Disease Control and Prevention defines autism spectrum disorder as a developmental disability caused by differences in the brain. Simply put, living with autism means your brain works in a different way from other people. One word that is being used side by side autism is spectrum. Olubusayo Oshoba, a behavioral therapist of over 2 decades, explains.
It's not a one-size-fits-all. What you see in child A is different from what you see in child B, and is different from what you see in child C.
A study published in the Lancet Global Health Journal reveals that autism ranks among the top 3 neurodevelopmental disorders affecting people in Nigeria. But knowing the difference between autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders matters.
If a child with Down syndrome comes here in your midst, you will know because of the physical features of a Down syndrome child, and then if a child that has cerebral palsy come in, you would know because majorly they have mobility challenge. But when you have a child that has autism, if you are not close to that child, you might never know.
As affected families try to understand how to navigate the stormy ocean of autism, the question of what happens before a child is born tops the list. But experts say available prenatal tests do not discover autistic traits, adding that this only happens after birth as the child develops.
Progression in language and speech is one of the key signs. Obsession with a particular object. Once an autistic child likes this toy, he can even go to bed with it. The other thing is they like doing it in routine. If you change the routine, the way he arranges things, if you change it, he's going to fight back.
Lucky Jet, an occupational therapist at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Oshodi, Lagos, is one of several experts who think children with autism can develop into independent adults if diagnosed early.
Such children may do well in life. That at a time you may not be able to even identify if this child has autism, because we've been seeing it.
In 2022, neuropsychiatrists in Lagos observed that there is a growing number of autism cases in Nigeria. Thanks to parents like Rafat and Tonye who were going against the tide to share the stories. But awareness does not equal to support for a lifestyle of constantly catering to the needs of these individuals with lifelong conditions.
10, 12, 13, 14 years ago, my bill every month was 120,000 naira. That was far above my salary. So that meant at the end of each month, I was looking for money to pay his bill. I had to take over the therapy because I couldn't afford hospital bills.
Omotoke Olugbode is an inclusive education advocate. She launched an autism-friendly technology that connects parents and individuals with autism to the value chain of support they need. She is building a roadmap for education stakeholders.
The school can then now work on continuous professional development for their teachers, making sure that school is accessible, putting different instructional materials in place to support teachers and every other thing that they need.
For persons living with autism, accessibility, availability, and affordability of resources to help them interact better with the surroundings is sacrosanct.
You need a behavioral therapist to help change the behavior. You need a speech therapy. You need a nutritionist to help. How do they get good nutrition for growth and development?
Therapy is cheap, and I will give you the price. So per 10 sessions, you pay 3,500. So that means you are paying 350 naira per session.
Over the last 10 years, the Nigerian healthcare system and larger society seem to be catching up on autism awareness. But compared to the Western world, there are still wrong mindsets held by people that sometimes make life hellish for families impacted by autism.
They said, I'm a bad woman, that it's my bad character that caused him to have autism. My developing a thick skin was the response, and it worked. Now, all of them are in love with my son.
People have taught every individual with autism have special skills. I think I need to say that. It's called servant skills, but not everyone with autism has it.
Of course, the other one is denial. Nobody wants to hear bad news, really. And sometimes it brings even a fight in the family.
With thousands of families having to deal with developmental disabilities they are trying to fathom, seeking social and legal intervention becomes crucial.
There are a lot of social support now. There are a lot of NGOs working in for autism. Legally speaking, I've not explored that option.
Shifting the hand of the clock to support persons living with autism goes beyond individual and community engagement. Experts say government's intervention is key.
We are looking forward to them saying, okay, we will have a budget for special needs.
Just as every human, individuals living with autism have dreams and unwavering hope for their future.
For Simone, I want her to live in a world where she's not only included, but has a voice.
As the world commemorates Autism Awareness Day with the theme, Awareness, acceptance and appreciation, families dealing with autism are pushing for all to join them to move from mere survival to thriving. They seek a world where every individual, regardless of neurodiversity, is valued and empowered to flourish. Mercy Frank, Just Nigeria.
We must do more to support persons living with autism. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts with us on X at Just Nigeria TV. We would like to hear from you.